I just want to talk. I'm not even going to show you guys anything as a point of like kind of reference because this is just a topic that I had on my mind. I think optimism can be a good thing. I talk about cultural wars and how we are trying to be doing what it is that we're going to be doing in the comic book space and really being competitors to get people enthusiastic about American comic books and give them a starting point where they can see some grow and flourish and continue to ever expand and just have continuity, canon, what is considered canon, be really prioritized. And every time you buy a book from us, of course, you will be having an actual history. You know what I mean? That's what it is with me and what it is that I'm trying to do. However, optimism for a creative project that you control or something that's in your individual control is one thing. But I do think that with current era of entertainment, so whether it be all of these different brands, the usuals, the big ones, now Lord of the Rings, the latest one that, has been a topic of conversation. But I think a lot of us that have been long time supporters or fans of certain things, whether it be Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, I know your Wheel of Time guys got disappointed, Marvel, DC, they're going they're going brand to brand and they're running it into the ground or really making it to the point to where they're just, again, used to further whatever individual agenda. And that agenda can be political, it can be social or whatever it is. In terms of the creators, the producers, actors, actresses, those that are a part of the project. But I do think there's a point to where there's a difference between optimism and being just naive to the point that you're being kind of stupid here. Because one thing that I've heard people say, for example, and you probably heard this as well, like, hey, something is not out, give it a chance type of stuff. And I'm like, okay, if I've set my hand on a stove, right, that's on, clearly it's got, let's say it's a gas one, it has fire, blue fire coming from under it, and I touched it and it burned my hand. It burned my hand. It burns, whatever. What do I look like touching it again and expecting a different outcome, right? To me, I think it's now to the point to where they would have to prove otherwise. Now Marvel and DC, I've completely given up on these cats. Like, I'm not even interested. I don't do reviews for their material anymore. Now all I do is mock, shame, and laugh at them when they do something goofy like make John Kent gay or Tim Drake gay or whatever new character that's going to be gay, because all of them seem to be homosexual now in some way. But I don't care. Like, I just like to, mock, shame, and make fun of them. But I think with some of you guys, and not all of you, but there are some of y'all that are out there, I don't know if it's clinging to hope because it's something that you might have grown up on, but don't let your optimism become stupidity. Or worse, insanity. Where you just cling on to hope to try to justify your itch that you, of course, want to, let's say, scratch. Because a lot of y'all got an addiction problem. You can go look at my previous videos on that topic. I talked about some people got an abusive relationship, or rather it's more of an addiction here. Where, what these companies have told you what they are up to, and yet, for whatever reason, you still give them the benefit of the doubt. Again, you think that as a customer, it's on them to convince you as opposed to you having to rely upon consuming their shit before you can, as in that's the default. That's more of what it is. They operate as if that's the default. The default is consumption, right? Like, we all have to do it. Like, so you can't say nothing about it. You can't, you just have to consume it either way it goes. And then you can, that's insane. I'm not required to do that, especially when I know what you're up to. So for me, I'm just saying, at what point will you break out of this, I don't know, matrix, for lack of better terms, which had a shitty reboot, I guess, as well. But you get what it is that I'm saying. Tap out of that and start actually understanding that you wield a lot of power as a customer, man. And you don't owe these people shit. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Cannon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.